Hey everyone. So I wanted to pop in for a second because I just felt like this might be something that would be helpful for you. A lot of you all ask me, how do you process an emotion? And I just wanted to give an example that might be helpful. So I'm in the process of moving, and I'm in the process all weekend of kind of packing and stuff like that. And I just had coffee with a friend and I was driving home, and I'm not driving right now, though I'm in the car. And I just keep having this feeling of sadness. And I don't really know why. Sometimes I have feelings of sadness during times of change and stuff like that. So that could be it. But I've kind of been feeling sad just, the past couple days in general. And a lot of times, and what I used to do is I used to really judge myself if I couldn't figure out why I had an emotion. And the self-talk would look something kind of like, why are you feeling this way? Everything's going well in your life. Or, maybe it's not for you, but if I couldn't identify what was quote unquote wrong. And now my practice really, and the work for me looks like really leaning into self-compassion. And I had posted today on my feed about, compassion creates, or curiosity creates compassion, and judgment creates resentment. And that applies to other people, but it also applies to ourselves. And when you feel something in your body or an emotion, you can either, judge yourself for it and try to, you can make yourself wrong in a way for, why do I feel this way? I shouldn't feel this way. Or you can get curious and kind of be like, that's interesting. What's going on? Let me tap in with what's going on in my body. And like for me today, right, if I tap into this right now, I have tightness in my neck, in like my throat up here. It just feels tight. I have some like stinging or heaviness behind my eyes and in my eye sockets. There's some tension in like my throat, and a little bit of tightness in my chest. So that's kind of what's going on for me. And that is feeling like it might be sadness, which is, it's okay if you also don't know what is going on with you. And it's also helpful sometimes to get curious and try to put a name to the emotion, because studies show that if we can find a name for something and identify our emotion, it makes it easier for us to take care of ourselves and articulate what our need is. And that term, if you're interested in learning more about it, is called emotional granulation. So we get curious, we notice it. And this is also the difference between, I have a lot of you all reach out to me and ask me, what's the difference between processing an emotion and ruminating? And the difference really is how you're interacting with yourself about it. Rumination often looks like judging your emotion or shaming yourself. And shame or judgment kind of acts like this barrier that keeps the emotion that you're actually feeling stuck. So it's like if I got angry, for example, or shamed myself for feeling sadness, let's say, and I'm like, I'm so angry that I'm feeling this way. Why am I feeling this way? I'm a piece of crap, whatever it is. I'm only going to be interacting and dealing with that shame on top, and I'm not going to actually be dealing with the emotion that's under it. And this, it's a cultural thing for sure. It's also in terms of a lot of times the way we are raised. We might not have been raised with parents who really asked us what was going on and asked us questions to inquire about why we were feeling the way we were. So that might be going on. And some of this might be part of your reparenting process. But the other thing that can happen is the reason we might go to judging or shaming ourselves for how we feel or getting angry about how we feel is it's sometimes less painful to interact with that top emotion that we almost can control than getting under it and feeling that sadness and feeling the vulnerability of not really knowing why we feel the way we feel. So I just want to invite you, today, this weekend, whatever, to, if you feel a sensation or you feel an emotion in your body, to really get curious, to lean into it. I think there's a misconception that if we get curious and notice things, we're going to feel upset all the time, or it's self-indulgent, or this is, going to cause us to ruminate. And that's not the case. You can lean into how you feel and honor how you feel and notice it. Like, I'm probably going to spend the rest of the, maybe not the rest of the day, but the next 30 minutes or so, just like being kind to myself, noticing how I feel, seeing if there's anything I can do to take care of myself, whether that's, I don't know, drinking tea or taking a hot bath. Like, as I was listing those things, like comfort, I think is what I'm looking for today. So for me, that might look like taking a bath, and maybe stretching. That might feel good in my body, or moving it in some way. Rather than not wanting to feel this way, shaming myself, trying not to feel this way, and then getting stuck. So it's like, if you give yourself that attention earlier on in how you feel, if you actually honor how you feel, if you can, right? We can't always if we're at work or something like that. You will actually be able to process and move through how you're feeling much quicker than most of us who just, the habit, right, might be to just shame ourselves, try not to feel it, avoid it, do something to numb it, like drink, or like obsessively clean, or, distraction has its place too. I'm not saying distraction isn't helpful, because depending on what we're going through, distraction might be what we need. But if you can tend to what's really going on and give your emotion that space to be, you're going to work through it much quicker. All right. So I just wanted to share this with you. I hope this is helpful. Leave me a comment below if you have more questions on this, or you can also shoot me a DM. All right. I hope you guys have a great Saturday. Bye.